country national accounting is necessary when dealing with the analysis of a national energy supply chain. From a general perspective, the national energy supply chain can be subdivided into three main steps. From one side, there is the total primary energy. On the other, the final energy uses that have to be satisfied. The connection of the two is possible by relying on some energy carriers. Most common energy carriers are the electricity and the fossil fuel products, like the gasoline we use to fuel our cars, or the coal pits that are necessary to fuel conventional boilers. Basically, the energy carriers are the vectors that allow final users to get access to primary energy resources. This process is subject to some energy conversion processes that imply the reduction of the energy content embedded in the carrier because of conversion losses that are implicit in the first law of thermodynamics and due to the technological imperfections. Finally, it is worthy to mention the role of imported electricity. This contributes to the definition of the total energy supply, but does not undergo any conversion process. This goes directly to final consumption by means of the transportation grid. Focusing our attention to the electricity energy carrier, it is possible to highlight the conversion steps and the passages that determine the possible losses. The electricity can be produced from different sources. For what concerns fossil fuels, it is necessary to consider the average value of energy efficiency of thermal plants to quantify the overall amount of primary energy that is necessary to sustain a certain amount of gross electricity production. Looking at the renewables, it is impossible to define in a unique way the conversion factor that allows to quantify the primary energy consumed. From a thermodynamics point of view, most common renewable energy conversion processes are not characterized by a first law conversion efficiency. Therefore, it is necessary to rely on certain conventions that allow to quantify the overall amount of primary energy that is associated to a certain final use of renewables. These conventions might differ if considering different statistics bureaus. Now, the overall amount of gross electricity production undergoes various steps of conversion and transmissions before reaching final users. The most relevant one is related to the energy plant's own usage, namely electricity consumption from auxiliaries needed to run a power plant. After that, the amount of electricity is discounted by the part that goes for storage or other industrial heating purposes, and what remains enters the transmission system to satisfy final users. The transmission process implies a certain amount of losses that have to be discounted from the total to obtain the value of final consumption. This Sankey diagram presents the energy fluxes for a given country, namely Italy. This kind of graphical representation allows to distinguish between the different energy sources that constitute the primary energy requirements of the country. The energy conversion processes that allow the production of energy carriers causing some energy content losses. The final used energy for whom it is possible to quantify the reliance from different carriers and, consequently, the reliance from different sources. This is relevant in the perspective of studying the transitioning possibilities for a country. A higher relevance of electricity carrier in the final consumption share is pivotal for higher values of renewable energy penetration in the country. As previously mentioned, data for national energy statistics can be accessed from different national and international databases. These are compiled from different entities, among which it is possible to find both public and private institutions. The most relevant and referred source is the International Energy Agency, that is the energy body for the International Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD. All energy balances from IEA statistics are compiled in the same manner. Top part is devoted to quantify the total energy supply that represents the overall energy requirements of a country. Middle part is related to energy conversion processes. Energy values appears with negative sign in columns related to primary energy sources and with positive sign in correspondence with columns related to carriers. Finally, the lower part of the table is devoted to final uses where it is possible to quantify how much different final uses rely on each carrier and thus on each source.